Welcome back. Welcome back. Let's have a conversation about children and all the matters in between the issues of education. We're told that pupils at the Imrasa DA Primary School in the Pandai district of the Northern Region are compelled to bring firewood and water from home daily before school feeding caterers can prepare meals. The practice, coupled with inadequate furniture, is affecting the school's enrollment. Stanley Blewu, my colleague, was up there in the north and has filed this report.
It is a bright Tuesday morning at the Mbora DA Basic School. Attendance is high, but there is no teacher. Few minutes later, some teachers arrive and lessons begin. The school, which serves Mbora and 4 other communities, is among several deprived educational facilities in the Pandai district.
Some of the classes are put together in one apartment, and others they are sitting under sheds, even on the bare floor. So in the case of the upper primary 4, 5, and 6, they are in a pavilion, sitting on the bare floor. Some have no furniture to sit on. So it has a serious implication on their learning.
Every class lacks furniture. Pupils sit on broken pieces of desk. Even here, it is first come, first served, leaving many sitting on the floor. Class 4, 5, and 6 pupils occupy a dusty pavilion constructed by the Parents-Teacher Association. Certain exercises are done on the floor. This affects sitting posture.
It has actually discouraged a lot of children from enrolling into the school, because as at now, if you go into the community, you see a lot of children sitting there. Most often, I do leave the school premises and go into the community, sack the children to come to school. They will come all right, but the following day, they decline. You follow up to ask why, and they tell you they came the previous day, they didn't get places to sit. And they cannot imagine sitting on the floor when their counterparts in the towns are sitting in well-built classrooms. So how can that be?
For the nursery pupils, their only option in writing is the floor. This has affected enrollment. Even those enrolled dropped out because school is not attractive.
Because Nkwadano bebre frebabi a ɛwɔ kakra no ana ne ɛwɔ kurumu aha no ebem so ntiase nyamba o motimu nti ya ban kwan aha no yes suku nkwada ne nyina omoba omodwane fa kwa fese nkonja ni ho ana kwa so nkonja ni ho.
Attendance in this school continue to dwindle simply because pupils cannot afford to be sitting on the bare floor, all in the name of seeking for education, and this has been a source of worry to teachers.
The Mbora DA Basic School is a beneficiary of the school feeding program, but pupils do not get food easily. Water is a prized commodity, and so pupils are compelled to bring water and firewood from home before meals can be prepared.
If it so happens that they don't bring firewood and cooking is not done, because they are used to it, sometimes it is difficult to get them to even sit down and learn. Because, like I said earlier on, they run into the community, the guys of going to eat and come back. And when they go back, it becomes difficult for most of them to return to the classrooms.
This has been the practice for the past 1 year. Is the Pandai District Education Directorate aware of this practice?
I'm not aware that people bring water and firewood for them to prepare food for them. Maybe I am yet to be given the feedback because this program has just started and maybe I have not yet been able to go around to actually inspect the school feeding programs or second supervisors giving me reports, so I have no idea about that.
The District Education Director assures of immediate measures to deal with the situation.
That should not be the practice, because children are not supposed to bring firewood. Because if you are the caterer, it behoves on you to bring firewood to prepare meals for the children. I myself will go there, find out from whom the caterer is, and then I'd talk to the caterer to change the attitude of asking school children to bring firewood and then fetching water for their meals to be prepared. If he doesn't change, then I will be compelled to report it to the district assembly so that together we take action.
The Imbora Junior High School is also challenged. Classes are controlled by the weather as students are accommodated under a thatched shelter.
South Africa's late president, Nelson Mandela, once said that education is the right tool to change the world. If indeed education is the right tool to change the Imbora community, then stakeholders must prioritize committing resources to address the plight of the Imbora school. Stanley Nibleu, TV3 News, Imbora.
And I know that Reverend Father Robert Atope is very interested in stories like this. This conversation is part of our Missions Ghana initiative brought to you by Star Ghana in partnership with Danida UK Aid and the European Union. But Bright Appiah is Child Rights International boss. He's joined me. Chief, good morning. How are you doing?
Good morning.
This is not good. Clearly an affront to education and the school feeding program. What are your initial comments?
Yeah, well, I feel that even from the word go in the implementation of the whole school feeding program, certain things must be made clear to all the service providers in terms of how or the objective of introducing the school feeding program. So if people go their way to ask children to do certain activities, then it brings back to the point that whether people were aware of what they were doing, or the service providers, how did we engage them, what are the processes of engagement. If it is that we just pick somebody because the person belongs to a political party, then these are some of the outcomes that you see, because there's no any well-structured policy as to how the person is going to operate in providing the services and all that. So we have to pick some of these things, not just to look at it on the surface, but to also question people's knowledge on the implementation of some of these social intervention programs. Because if you really understand what is meant in the introduction of the school feeding program, there are certain things that you will not even engage children to do. Absolutely. If teachers understand, they will not even allow children to be doing some of these things. And if the district assembly or the district director of education also understands some of these policies, will not even allow some of these things to happen.
The authorities, as we saw in the clip, says, well, he's not aware and he will go and check now. What does that tell you of supervision, for example? Because I know that those who engage in school feeding report to a certain headmaster, who reports to a certain circuit director, who report to the district director of education. The man at the top says he is not aware. What does that say to you?
And that is the danger, and it brings back to the question of even as to whether they even monitor what children eat. If children can do this, because based on this story, it's not as if it is one activity. It's a continuous thing that children were doing in the school. So are you saying that circuit supervisors do not go around? Are you saying that you don't get report from parents? Are you saying that the school management committees do not see it? Or even the teachers do not see some of these things? So clearly it comes back to the issue of supervision as to whether even circuit supervisors go around to monitor some of these things. And even teachers even report some of these things to you and all that. So you would realize that the whole system has broken down because certain things are not working. That is where you see children being engaged in some of these activities without people even recognizing that they are doing it.
In the school, furniture is also a big problem. Nearly every classroom has a deficiency in terms of furniture. But you are a child's rights person. Children need furniture, books, to be able to access education properly. Now they are disadvantaged. What do you say?
Most of the rural communities, I can attest to the fact that they go through that a lot. And research that we also conducted clearly shows that in producing the furniture in the rural communities, is even in terms of cost, is far lower than producing furniture in maybe the urban cities and all
Right.
that. So I think that it should be a policy initiative from government to engage the community in the production of furniture for children,
Right.
because that has been a big issue. That for me, it should be a policy issue, and the Ministry of Education must pick that up and then design the way and manner that they award contract for the construction, for the development of furniture for children in the rural community. I think there should be a community initiative. We've done that before, where we engage the community with a little resources,
Right.
and they've been able to build a lot of furniture for children. And I think that should be the way forward, engaging the community.
Not
to be-
focusing on the central government.
No, I don't think that. When you do that, people, first of all, the community will not see themselves as part of it. So even if they are selling the raw material for you for the production of such furnitures, they would also be looking at the market value and all
Right.
that. So let's try as much as possible to engage the community in designing things that would also assist children in the community.
Interesting. Now, we're told it's Global Action Week.
Yes,
this week.
yes.
What's happening?
Well, we're celebrating the Global Action Week, which is a global campaign, which is headed by the Global Campaign for Education.
Right.
Looking at every year, picking up a particular issues in the education sector and then run campaign around it globally. And the Ghana National Education Campaign Coalition is also a member of that body. So we run it. And this year, we are looking at accountability and accountability through citizens' participation in the process, so far as the SDG 4 is concerned.
Right.
And when you look at the SDG 4, it's loaded. So you realize that everybody must be part of the whole process in terms of design, in terms of implementation,
Right.
and then also the measurement of the outcomes and all that. So we are launching the campaign today, and there's going to be a whole week celebration,
Right.
and it's being celebrated all over the world, and Ghana would also be celebrating it.
Interesting. I hope the celebration is fruitful
Yes.
to all of us. I
Exactly.
thank you very much, Bright
Thank you.
for your time. Grateful. And this conversation is made possible by the Star Ghana initiative. It's part of our missions project, and the UKA, Danida, and the European Union make sure it's possible. Good morning to you, Reverend Father Robert Atopi. Also, happy birthday to you, William Diego Parker Benin, and to you, Larry Moses, Bona Hafo regional correspondent, Martin Asidu Dati as well.